All right. So we built this studio basically by ourselves for no reason. Why did you say yes? Basically, when I came to you with the idea, what reason did you have?
Mostly just bored. So this is something I could spend my evenings doing.
But you could spend your evenings doing anything.
Yeah. But I feel like there's a difference between me spending my evenings playing video games, which is like there's immediate return, but there's no like long term. With this, you work through it. You don't know what's going to happen throughout. And then at the end, you get this.
But it's a big project undertaking.
Yeah, that's why I think that's why I did it, was because it was a big project.
So if it was something small, you wouldn't be interested?
If it was small, I just wouldn't be able to take up my time.
Okay.
So it's like a time thing. They just had enough time to do it, so.
Would you say it's a different level of fulfillment you get when you creating this over how many hours would you say we put into building this studio?
Combined or together?
Let's say like combined work. How many labor hours did it take to create this? Start to scratch?
I mean, like we probably spent at least 20 hours this week.
Yeah, and I would
say table, like it just depends. We weren't exactly efficient when we were building the table, so like I don't know.
I think we were always on the critical path.
Yeah,
you know.
I remember the first day when we came in here and did this, and I was doing the lights on the stairs. It's such a daunting task because there's so much shit that has to be done. And then you were saying like when we were putting up the walls, it was like that was okay to do at the beginning, but by the time we were like at the end of building this place, I couldn't have done the walls.
Yeah, because it was just too big. It's like you get the big things out of the way first. Yeah. But even that we had to stop because when we were building the wall, we realized we got to the switch and we had to do electric work because we had to change the ceiling light.
Fuck, I forgot about that.
So we had to stop the wall to do the electric work. But then when we were doing the electric work, we had to stop 3 times because of different things we just didn't know. None of us have done. Well, you did a little.
Nothing like that though. Nothing real in the real world.
Just a lot of ChatGPT and figuring it out. But then we get to one point. What was the first problem? There was two problems.
There was no neutral wire in the light in the box over there. So then we need to get something without a neutral wire.
So we had to return those dimmers. Went and got a basic dimmer set.
Yes. And the other one was like a Wi-Fi, so you need the neutral wire to be able to control it. And then didn't have it.
Old building, I guess.
But
then when we put the ceiling light in, that didn't dim.
I know. And it was making all weird sounds coming from the dimmer, too. So then you change the light again.
And the first impulse was, you know what, let's just leave it. Remember, we were like, it's fine.
Yeah.
So how did we go from let's leave it to we need to change it and make it perfect? Because I feel like that happened throughout many stages. We were like, you know what, it's fine. But then the next day we were like, no, we got to fix it.
Yeah. I mean, like, first of all, it wasn't meant for a dimmer, and you could tell. And then when we were flipping it on and off and it was changing, and you're like, oh, that's what they meant by dimming.
Right.
It's like, that's a fucking scam.
Yeah. Luckily, we were able to return it.
Yeah.
But then we finally got the lights in. Then we cleaned up the stairs, got the wall panels on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't come out together until literally like a few days ago. Like all you could really see was the walls, and then it was like dirty and there was stuff everywhere. And then the last 2 days, it was like it all just came together.
Whoa, yeah. I think that's like the premise of the whole.
Yeah, you can't see in the middle. Yeah.
Or it's just about starting. You know, you have these plans and things that you want to do, and the whole slogan of "if not now, then when." It's like, just start, do it while you have a job, do it. You can't always be waiting. For the next thing. I feel like people work very linearly. You actually work pretty linearly.
Linear worker, that's for sure.
So how does this differ? Because I know you had multiple projects you were juggling.
Well, this was like, it was easy because I knew the second half of my day was just going to be dedicated to this pretty much every day. So like I come here and like I only have to focus on one thing, and we just did task by task. But like, man, you literally have no idea what you're getting into. I couldn't have imagined it taking this long, to be honest. But there's just so much stuff that we just didn't know how to do.
On average, how many podcast hours do you watch a week?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, probably like 20 hours.
Which is extremely high. I would say the average human probably is around like 1-2 hours a week.
Yeah, probably.
So you knew exactly what you wanted to do with the space.
Yeah. In terms of how it looks, this is exactly how I pictured it looking.
And honestly, literally, like whatever I thought at the beginning, I think it's like I try to do this generally all the time is rely on people who know more than you.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, this is it. I sent you some chairs, and you were like, no, those are not podcast chairs. I sent you some tables. You were like, no. So we had to like really go into your vision. We actually ended up getting like 2 setups. So this one's not the Joe Rogan-esque one. Where would you compare this kind of coffee table setup to? Where'd you get the inspiration from? Or
like, there's a few, but like Theo Vaughn's podcast, I think it might have been the older one, and they had like the 2 chair setups with the coffee table, and then a lot of people copy that setup. And then obviously there's the table setup, and the table setup is iconic, and a lot of people try to copy that too. But it basically is just a Joe Rogan setup, square table, and you sit across from each other and you talk.
Yeah. So which do you prefer? Seeing both?
I don't know. We haven't even set up the square table one yet, so.
Yeah, so we're gonna do it here live, so we'll figure it out, and I guess we'll be able to look back at it. But generally, we created the perfect podcast studio.
Yeah, from scratch. Yeah, literally. Like in my head, I had the idea. Remember we used the 3D software to plan the room. We measured out all the dimensions of the room before we did, and it looked like this on the 3D planner before we did it.
Yeah, so there's the prep. We started with the giant whiteboard. We took scale measurements of everything. Yeah. Then you were like, I'm gonna build a 3D model for it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, because I used it for my house.
Yeah, and then
apartment.
The curtains and everything were on that model, like the brick. Yeah. And
true, they were too. Yeah, the curtains were on the model too.
The curtains really brought everything together. I remember the problem with the podcast studio at the beginning when we first set up was I would be looking at you, and I would just see the rest of the room. Yeah. But when this curtain comes in, I feel like I'm in a nice intimate setting where I can have a conversation.
Closes the room down for sure, and the greenery like makes a absolutely massive difference.
That's all from the branding, like this. So we did a whole
greenery makes a difference.
Branding session that probably was not needed for a studio like this, but the whole color scheme you see here from the blues, the oranges, browns, greens is built from that whole vision board and branding session that we did, which will go into the larger, if not now, then one brand. But even when you apply like a thought about brand to a space like this, makes a huge difference.
Oh my God, yeah. This defines the company.
Like this curtain, it's a game changer for me. Yeah. It just did so much. But what would you say in the studio is like the biggest impact or you're most proud of?
I mean, the damn wall, because that was quite. It took us like a week of like every day, spending the whole evening doing it. Yeah. And then just,
And we thought we could do the whole studio in a week at
the beginning. Yeah. It always takes longer. It's rule number 1 of doing any project is like multiply the time that you think it's going to take by at least 2 or 3. And that's like minimum the amount of time it's going to take. Because even yesterday when we were just setting stuff up, and I'm thinking, okay, we're like cleaning up and I'm doing some touching finishes on the walls and stuff. And then I go up, and if it's been 2 hours since we started.
It is also the way your brain works too. You get very focused, right?
Yeah, I just want to do one thing at a time.
Yeah, like and you're like, and there'll be times like I remember you were cutting the finishing on the like just any trim.
Yeah,
anything that it was like almost like you were just obsessed with it. And I tried to talk to you at one point, but you were just so dialed.
Yeah, dude, it's the thing that it's like a thing that runs in my family because my mom has it and my brother has it.
The hyper focus.
Well, like, but it's like to a extreme extent where I zone out almost and I can't hear anything, you know? Yeah. Like it's hard for me to switch gears. Sometimes my brother will be focused doing something and I'll be yelling at him and there's nothing. So
it's good. It helps.
It's a superpower and a curse,
with many things. You just have to make sure you don't go down rabbit holes.
Yep. Well, or make sure that you do because it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So part of the studio was like creating, because we know that there's other places in the city, but we wanted to create a nice environment where not just for pros, that anybody could kind of walk into the studio and like, even if you just had a dream or like you just thought it'd be fun to shoot something with your buddy, see how it sounds. Yeah. We wanted to be able to achieve that. So I think we did a good job. So I guess this would be a message to anybody like looking, hey, you're looking at this podcast, you're like, yo, I want to see what this would look like if I did it with my friend. Just book it and
try it out. Yeah, it's like an experiment. It's almost like somebody coding a website from scratch versus like a drag and drop program to do it yourself. Yeah, it's this like is the drag and drop version.
You can figure out what other sides of you, even if you didn't think you could do it before, just like seeing yourself in that light, it's powerful.
Yeah, drag and drop. That's what it is.
I think that's like even doing this podcast, or this studio, this podcast is a product of that, because at first we were like, okay, there's this whole studio. Can we build it? Now we know we have like, we're able to build something to that magnitude.
I could do this again. We could do this again. If somebody else wanted us to build a studio, pay me $1 million.
We're experts.
We'll build another studio. We'll do it. We figured it out.
That's
especially that orange light. The orange light contrasted with the black.
Mm-hmm.
Supreme.
Mm-hmm.
Really brings out.
Again, that's like leaning on
tan.
people who know more than you.
Yeah.
To take
exactly.
over.
I would have never ever guessed of having a light like that. Like in my head, like all I could picture was like we need a down light coming from down here, but it really doesn't make any sense. So
yeah,
I'm glad.
Beautiful. Yeah, and then this studio generally it was like the way we got to was momentum. Like we never let it
kept
stop.
going. Yeah,
like it was like whenever there's a break, we're like, okay, what's the next thing? Like let's keep going. Yeah. We want to get this done.
The only break we took was like last weekend when I was away.
Mm-hmm.
But like leading up to that, we didn't really break. Like I remember literally leaving here at 10:30 the night before I left, and then that morning that I got back, I came right here again, and we started working on it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like we were done like Thursday, and then Friday we didn't even have any plans to do anything, and we came here, and it was just like a fix-up day.
Yeah.
And it literally all came together perfectly.
So is that generally how you go about tasks, or did you learn? Because I feel like seeing the momentum and how it compounded for this, I feel like I can apply that to a lot of other elements of my life now that I didn't realize before.
Yeah, for me, it's just like developing new skills and trusting the process. Like I keep talking about Alex Hormozy, and all he talks about is like if you just put in the time, it's gonna work itself out. Like he always says, if somebody's twice as good as you, but you work twice as hard, it's gonna be the same output.
Whatever you start, eventually it'll turn into something. You start construction on a room.
Time.
If you keep at it, it's going to become the finished product. If you start a business, eventually it's going to do something, right?
Yeah, time is equal to, some like product. It looks good. For like this table, for instance, like that was like, if we could have half-assed it and it wouldn't have looked good.
We could talk about the table.
One stain, like how many layers of stain we put on it, things like that. Like stuff that was super tedious.
We were pretty obsessed. I was doing my 9 to 5 and my other work. Yeah. But in the back of my head, the clock of the stain on the tables that we made was there. I'm like, I got 2 hours of work before I had to go back out there and put another stain. Yeah. And I'd be thinking like, when I wake up in the morning, I got to go check the table, put the clear coat finish on it.
Yeah.
It was like that. So I was able like that momentum to keep working on the table and stuff. But the trickiest part was keeping the balance with the other parts of my life because I guess I'm different. Yeah. I like to juggle things and watch them grow.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this the other day. You kind of, from what I hear, is you like to let things die. Move to the next thing. How do you, for me, and my struggle with that is the attachment I have to the project. So how do you just detach from something you work so hard on?
Yeah, like for me, like it just, if as long as the project is taken to completion, then I'm okay to move on to the next thing. Mm-hmm. But like, I think a problem that a lot of people run into is they try to do the juggling thing, but then they never end up finishing anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like it's important to take it and then work on it till you finish it, and then I can move on to the next thing. That's just how I work. I think a lot of people get lost on that. And they just never finish anything. You know how many people I've known who've talked about businesses or projects or assignments that like, oh, I have all these things ongoing, but they're just not doing any of it. You might be like doing a little bit of here, and then you stop, and then you can't think about it. And then the next week you have to spend another 2 hours like getting back into it versus like this. Like it was just, I knew my evenings were going to be dedicated to this, until it was finished. Like, yeah.
And for me, I'm obsessed with everything being like a living organism that continuously grows. Yeah. And I actually, whatever I put my effort into, I want to see it growing like in perpetuality forever. Like I need to see the value come back.
Yeah, for sure. And this place, well, even you saw it grow like in the last 2 days, like from not being decorated or finished to it being finished and decorated. Like think about how big a difference the mics made. Like that was it growing.
When we saw the mics on, we were like, well,
like the tables and the chair look good, but then you add the mic and you're like, holy shit, that makes it look way better somehow.
And that's applicable to like anything. Like you can add the mics to anything, and then you see the full picture. And you're like, okay, but the mics without the table are nothing, right?
Yeah, it all came together, man. They had a plan, stuck to the plan. I mean, we did stick to the plan as best we could, but there was definitely a few times you had to go to plan B and C to make it happen.
Yeah.
But it turned out
I'm
great.
excited to see how the long table looks.
Yeah, me too.
I think we should actually let's change the set now. Let's bring the long table in and see how that looks, and we'll continue.
Sure.
All right.
Coffee, there she goes.
How are you gonna deal with that coffee? You're gonna be insufferable.
Too late.
I also really like this, like talking wise, having a taller table is kind of nice.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't have to reach down to get your. So I feel like when you're in the other one,
like if people want to bring drinks or
product placement.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's perfect.
Yeah, cool.
It's just the wires.
Yeah, we've actually never set up this way before.
W's all around.
You can tighten this part here, so that get it towards like how mine's. Yeah, and then tighten this knob here so it stays and it's not rattling for the audio.
Perfect.
Yeah. This is professional.
That works. All
right, Connor, we ready to go?
All right, seems it.
Okay, so we brought the long table in. First time seeing it. Looks good. Looks good. If you had 4 people, you want to do a podcast with 4 people, you could easily put.
Yeah, we could make it happen.
Guess sure. It's cool. I wonder how Joe Rogan came up with this.
I mean, he probably just started. I remember, like, originally before he had his podcast studio in LA, and then even before obviously the one in Austin. Like, it was just him sitting across from a guy, and they just put the camera angle wherever, right? And then it wasn't until they got Jamie, who's a producer, and then when he came and started doing the production, then he was the one who like figured out the camera angles and stuff.
Yeah, but still, it's just in a room of curtains.
Yeah,
it's curtains all around.
And kind of like when you're the first person, like he's the king of podcasting. You kind of make the rules at that point. I feel like, you know, like you set the trends for what it should be. But it does look good like that. It feels like a normal conversation. Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or not, but he said basically when he got Mike Tyson on, that he was actually like a little bit nervous as to like how close Mike was like sitting next to him in front of him. And he was like, after that podcast, apparently goes like, yeah, we need to get
bigger table. I'd be scared of Mike Tyson too.
Yeah. Okay, I want to go back into your whole learning thing. I think it's cool. It's cool because in the past, I would say 4 months. So
serial single tasker.
But how did it start? You know, for my other company, Collide.
Yep.
You made a whole data analytics, inventory, cash flow projection model, and then moving on to that, you made the Notion operating system that the company works on, and now you're getting into learning paid ads and the front end of coding for the studio. And so my point is, what I just explained was probably 6 different professions.
Yeah.
And you're trying to learn. And you've successfully implemented all of them.
At the end of the day, it's like basically just what entrepreneurship is, which is like you're just trying to do everything yourself to the best of your ability and outsource the least amount of work possible because you don't have to pay other people.
I fully disagree. I think entrepreneurship's the opposite of that.
Really?
I think entrepreneurship is putting people in positions to succeed. Like whatever within your company, and you're trying to get yourself. you do something as long as you have to, but generally you're gonna like take your time and you're gonna see what do you want to spend your time on, what you should be spending your time on.
Yeah.
Everything else you should offload to other people, and you should put them in positions to do their job well.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like the task that you did, for example, you did fantastically. So you're kind of an interesting case because you can do multiple things, multiple different fields, but
under the same domain, more or less. Like I would say, like when you get a degree in STEM, like people just they say, "Oh, numbers person," right? But like, what does numbers really mean? And like the other side of that is finding meaning in the numbers. So, like for you, see, like when I try to figure out what type of work it is, it's impossible to describe it because it's like a bunch of different things. But like they all work together. So like data analytics is the starting point because that was what I would have more experience in. Like when I'm doing laboratories in school and stuff like that, it's all data analytics. So you have the foundation, like the mathematical foundation, the stats foundation, to be able to try to bring some meaning from numbers. But then on top of that is being able to computer program, specifically in Python for data analysis. So like the other aspect of the data analysis is you need to be able to code, right? Because the most powerful tools that are available to you are through Python. And then I think that relating that back to like something that looks good too, that's like another skill is the business aspect of things. Like, how do I put it this way? Like
how it all comes together.
Yeah, like building the report to in writing what it actually means and explaining it.
And you see that in like, I feel like the biggest component with you jumping on and helping with all these things are the feedback sessions. Like every time you create something, we have layers and layers of feedback. Yeah. And that kind of helps refine your product because you understand the problem better throughout those. Yeah.
And to be fair, like I was given pretty clean slate, but it's important as much as information as I can get from like, say if it wasn't you and it was different, whatever it is, like just try to get as close as you can to what they want and then make it usable.
Yeah.
So like that.
You can actually integrate into the business and Yeah. And that's like the gist of it, of taking it from the fundamentals and into a usable thing, an asset, I guess, for the company.
But there's a lot of layers to it. And then the final layer for me is like trying to graduate from intermediate crutches in terms of the programming that I'm doing. So like basically doing everything myself instead of using applications that have programs that do some of the in-between processes for me. Like the next step is like fully graduating. I don't know if that means anything. Says no signal.
All right. Well,
it's fine.
Probably just went to sleep, but it's probably still recording.
Fair. So like, it's fine. It's fine.
It's okay. We're wrapping up soon, anyways. Yeah. I guess what I wanted to know to a larger degree, we could start that up again, and then if it's able to go, because then we can sync it up after. So we'll give Connor.
I wonder why. Maybe it is still recording. I don't know.
Dead? Could be the battery.
Does the camera need battery? Or the thing on the top needs battery? Yeah, I guess the camera's
okay. We can keep running off of the top of the two cameras, and
we'll probably have enough from over here.
Yeah, and we're pretty much at the end here. All right, so that would be the end of that cut. But my last question for you was, why are you so committed to learning at such an aggressive pace right now? I feel like it's unheard of. So what's got you?
It's the looming existential global crisis that's happening right now. It's the fact that there's a limited period of time between now and when things are worse. Worse being the same direction as every Western country is going in. So things become more expensive, things become more violent, government becomes more corrupt, and the combination of those things make life a lot harder. And for a long time, the best part about Western worlds was this massive middle class and the ability to move up financially from the bottom to the top. And because of the three aforementioned factors, it kind of limits your ability to do that. And you spread out the middle class into a rich class and a poor class, which is what's happening right now. And so, like, if I'm going to get a regular job, say I get a serving job, like, I'm limited by outside factors and how much money I could make.
Mm-hmm.
And this all relates back to the fact that I think that in order to weather the storm that I think is coming, the existential storm, the demise of Western civilization, you need a lot of money. And a lot of money can only be accumulated through entrepreneurship or through being very lucky in like a finance career, but I can't give it up to chance.
And why can't you give it up to chance? You can't be poor? Why?
Because if I'm going to have a family and have kids, and I already do have a family and friends, like, I can't depend on anybody else to fill that role of being part of the protected class. I have to get there. And if everybody else gets there, that's great. But like, I can't depend on anybody else to do that. And it's existential because if I can't do that, and if it ends up the way I think it's going to end up in 20, 30 years from now, like, it's a failure. I'm just a failure at that point. My whole life's a failure because I won't be able to provide for the people around me. And that's why I'm doing it. It's like the single motivation. I had a big existential crisis in my head like a month ago probably. And I was like, this needs to happen because the other options they have intangible factors where it's like, I'm not in full control. You're in the driver's seat when you're climbing a corporate ladder or whatever, but it's not the same as entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Like if I just worked like a slave 100 hours a week, I would be able to make money making a business, right? If I worked like a slave in finance, they might not even pay me for the overtime if I work 100 hours a week.
The way the world's
you know what
going.
I mean? Like it's more of a linear return on your time when you're doing entrepreneurship versus doing like a salaried position, trying to work your way up. And it's not for the money. The money is what the money buys you, which is a protected class of people. But you see that right now. You know the protected class of people because they don't care about anything. They get away with everything. People in the government. Politicians are rich. They're a protected class of people. And that protected class is going to become more and more important over the next 20 to 30 years.
The acceleration of wealth and the gap between.
Yeah, the gap between wealth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think that whole agility of classes is going to shrink as well.
It's financial agility. That's literally what it is. Yeah. It's so important.
Okay. Well, don't put too much pressure on yourself.
I'm putting all the pressure on myself.
Okay. So generally, coming back to the studio, I guess like it is in essence what you're just talking about.
Yeah.
Building this with no guarantees.
Yeah.
And just putting in the hours and the linear work, and it's kind of going to be a good test case for you to see like now going forward as we launch the podcast and we start trying other things with the advertisements and trying to book the studio. Like
more skills. Yeah.
If more skills and if it's going to work.
Yeah.
But I think that's the reason we do it. If not now, then when? Just jump in. No matter what you have going on, just jump in and see what happens.
Selling the vision. Like this is literally selling the vision. We hopped in here and we didn't, like, bro, you came with the cameras and we set up and we filmed. It's not like
and we were
like preparing this for like a week or
this would
weeks.
be like your first professional podcast, setting in a mic.
Like anyone could do this. You could come here with your friend and just talk.
Yeah.
This is literally what we're doing.
And
right now,
and
if
there's
not
a lot
now, then when are you going to do it?
And there's a lot of value in that because you can listen to yourself, see how you can improve, see how you sound like, see how you articulate yourself. And it's an immensely valuable experience just to see how you do.
And like going forward in the future, like people are going to be able to look back at you. Like it's like a time capture of the moment. If you have kids and 30 years from now, they want to see you. Well, I have all like this collection of videos of me, like in the time. This was me. This is what I was like at this period of time in my life, which is going to be different than 10 years from now. And I think that's super important.
That's a good thing to end off on I think it's like an interesting question that I would like to get into the habit of asking more people. Like at this period of your time, because this is a question that changes throughout. At this period of time, if there's one thing that you say is like either your purpose or what you live for, or a message that you would want other people to know, what would it be?
Just like if you're waiting to do something, don't wait anymore and just do it, because you're only wasting time, and the amount of time you have to do it is only shrinking. So like, just do it. Literally just do it. Don't think about it. Just try it. Like, we didn't really think. I didn't know what this place was going to look like at the beginning of it, right? But we just did it.
And you'll amaze yourself with what can come, like, you over time.
Yeah, and if you put time into something that you want to do, like, the chances are it's going to be better than what's in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't see it until you actually try to do it. It goes for anything. Like, you want to see yourself get fit. Like, you can't, like, wait for the perfect moment in your life to try to do it.
Calendar year, New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, like this, it kind of has to be, it has to be like it's something you do all the time.
This is a metaphor. Creating this studio is actually a metaphor for the brand, if not now, then when, because this is the start, but I guarantee you, if we play back this podcast a year from now, when I show you what if not now, then when is now, a year from now, you're going to be like, whoa, we started, and look what it became.
Yeah, if it, like, in the least cheesy way possible. Like, don't wait.
Yeah.
Just don't wait to do it.
Perfect. All right. If you want to book the podcast room, book the podcast. If you want to book the podcast studio, if not now, then when? Book it. You never know what will come from it. You're just chatting with your friends. You'll learn a lot about yourself, and it's something fun to do, even if you're not a professional.
We're not professionals.
We're not professionals, so that's it. Signing off.
Yay.
Cool.
W's.